January 2002, months after the attacks of September 11th, the first detainees related to the war on terror were brought to the U.S. detention camp at Guantanamo Bay after being captured in Afghanistan or elsewhere around the world.
It has been necessary to move these individuals to an environment where they can be held secretly, questioned by experts, and when appropriate, prosecuted for terrorist acts.
The prison, situated at a U.S. naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, was one way to give counter-terrorism experts more leeway in their questioning. According to Chris Garrity, a research fellow at the Bridge Initiative at Georgetown University.
The individuals who are imprisoned there are not subject to U.S. law. And also, despite plenty of international law around the status of prisoners of war, the U.S. is really, they've developed their own categories, such as enemy combatants.
George W. Bush's successor, Barack Obama, pledged to close the controversial detention camp, but failed to do so during his 2 terms as president. And now President Joe Biden has launched a review of the detention center with the goal of closing it before the end of his term. Biden faces the same obstacles as Obama, his Democratic predecessor, according to constitutional law expert Jonathan Hafetz.
I think the problem is that there are a number of restrictions on closing Guantanamo right now. The restrictions on bringing prisoners to trial, to the United States for trial. There are restrictions on transferring prisoners to other countries. So I think it's important to eliminate those roadblocks.
Resistance from Republicans in the U.S. Congress is another key factor, says Matthew Ho, a former U.S. diplomat and a Marine combat veteran with the Center for International Policy. He believes criticism of the nation's chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan will make Biden reluctant to look soft on terrorism, especially after several former Guantanamo detainees showed up in the new Taliban government.
I think that the heat that Joe Biden has taken, the catastrophic nature for the Americans of the collapse of the Afghan government, the scenes at the Kabul airport, all of that are going to contribute to Joe Biden being much more hawkish and conservative in any future decisions regarding these wars, and to include Guantanamo Bay. One of the men, as many people saw the photos and videos coming from the presidential palace in Kabul, where Taliban were sitting, in the office of the president and things like that, right? The conquering heroes, that's what's going to happen. One of those men had been a detainee, a prisoner at Guantanamo Bay.
There are now just 39 detainees at Guantanamo, some of whom are only now being brought to trial 2 decades after 9/11. For Yuni, Salim at Camp Justice, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Nova Poerwadi, VOA News.